Good evening. Welcome to the LICA September 28th General Membership Meeting. If you're looking for reruns on TCN, you're on the wrong channel. Glad to have you here and glad to have you back. We haven't been together since last June. We were discussing before the meeting, it'll sure be nice when we get back to potlucks. It brings people together, have a little food. We just haven't figured out how to share that food on Zoom yet. We'll get there. We have a fairly full schedule tonight. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Greg Hall. I am the LICA president. To my right, beside me, waving on over a hand on in there, is Alan Crum, vice president. Also with us tonight, Paul Davis online. I don't. Okay. Paul Davis, our treasurer, is on Zoom. Also with us tonight, Gail Lawrence will be acting as secretary tonight. Carol McKinney, Mary Ross, and online as well, Victoria Souze as an at-large member as well. Unfortunately, tonight, Connie Berry will not be with us as secretary, and Bill Daly, both of which are ill, and we wish them both the best. But we're going to go ahead and move on with our agenda. I apologize for the agenda going out late. I sent it out last week, but it got out late. It got out on Brown Betty. Is there any possibility of putting the agenda up? Yeah. One screen to another screen to another screen. And for those of you out on Zoom, hopefully you'll be able to see the screen on out there. One moment, please. We keep trying to refine our ability to be able to do combination hybrid meetings. And Zoom does indeed keep changing. So formats make things a little more difficult every time we change new software. So if you have your agenda, or if you've seen your agenda, if you've read your agenda, I have one in front of me. First is the approval of the agenda. I need a motion, preferably to approve the agenda for tonight so we can move forward. Moved and seconded by the Rotmans. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries by acclamation. We move on. Next is approval of the general meeting minutes of June 22nd, 2022, our last meeting when we got together. Hopefully you've all had a chance to review those meeting notes. For those in the audience, I do have a copy available. A copy, I only brought one. Was hoping to be able to put it up on screen, but we will get there. Meeting minutes. Oh, good. Good. Thank you. There are many things in there we will be talking about tonight. Per year. Yeah. I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of June 22nd, 2022. Do I have a second? Moved and seconded by Gail Lawrence. Is there any discussion? Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, is there any objection? With no objection, motion carries by acclamation, and we will move on. Next is our report section. Treasurer's report, Paul Davis.
Our income this is for the month of August. Our income is $1,142 and
Paul, you're muted. No, wait a minute. We're not hearing you.
oh, sorry. The income for the month
Zoom is
of,
giving us fits.
am I muted now?
Hold on a second, Paul.
My mute indicator is on.
And we can hear you online, Paul.
Okay.
One moment, please.
This report is for the month of August. The revenue for the month is $1,142.
Paul, your microphone is not on. Can you
Yes, it
check your
is.
mic?
It's here.
Yeah.
You can't hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
They can't
Shall I
hear us.
Zoom is good.
I
Shall I
can hear you, Paul.
shall I start over?
You
Yeah,
can
they're
hear
not ready
us,
for
but
you
we
yet,
can't
Paul.
hear you. You can hear Paul.
Okay.
Hmm.
Revenue. Can you hear that?
One moment, Paul.
Paul, can you talk?
Yes, I can talk.
Okay, we're listening to you over my computer. Let me turn up my volume so the people in here can hear. There's some kind of a screw up with our
Oh,
Zoom. Okay,
can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay. This report is for the month of August. The revenue is $1,142, and most of that was for the sale of 37 ferry posters. Other smaller income was donations at the Saturday market, ferry 60th anniversary, had some phone book sales, a little bit of subscriptions. Our expenses for the month are 1,007, and the big parts of that were the ferry 60th supplies and the ferry 60th posters. Also included in that are several smaller items related to that weekend. The general fund balance is 16,280. And our surplus assets are now 12,455. Are there any questions?
Hearing no questions, thank you very much for the report. And for everyone else, when you wish to comment, you will need to unmute, please. Moving on, next, Public Dock Advisory Committee. We've got Mary Ross with us here and Lane Davis Curry I see online. So I'll let you two take that away.
You want me to cover that, Mary?
Yes, Lynn.
We had an active August, like most of LICA, and we're at a booth at the Saturday market. We were participated in the celebration of the 60th anniversary for the Whatcom Chief, and we also participated in the ReefNet Festival, all of which were super as just an individual attending, but from a committee perspective, we were able to meet with a lot of people. We engaged a lot of discussion, and most importantly, some people told us that they were interested in pursuing one of the next goals we have over the next several months is to meet in some small groups with an interest in a specific topic and to brainstorm concerns that have come up or planning, how we move ahead with some planning. And so if anyone is interested, actually, I either pop a message right into the comments, or you can, I'll put my email in the comments. Let us know if you're interested. I've got some folks who are interested in leading some discussion with folks on the island who have farms to talk about sort of the business, kind of some of the business side of it. Folks who are interested, I don't see Dave online right now, but Dave Parker, interested in how we would deploy a fleet of boats, basically, and in response to an outage, which he refers to as the Dunkirk model. And so we're trying to just engage people in discussion so we understand better about what people would be looking for, as well as concerns people have who have felt like they see more of the drawbacks to having a public dock. Totally legitimate. There's definitely pros and cons, right? So we'll be reaching out to people, and we'll be having another town meeting, but it'll be a little bit later. Our Parks and Recreation Commission was planning to meet with us in person in August. Some of you are going to come and help with meeting the commission and discussing organizations on the island. They had to reschedule it rather much the last moment as one of the key members was quite ill. So they are rescheduling. It looks as if we'll have an opportunity, we're hoping, for their November meeting, which is the third Thursday. I believe it's like the 17th. So we'll certainly be getting information out about that. We also are hoping for an opportunity we'll be sending information to the new executive director of Parks and Recreation. He's just come on board in the past couple of weeks to, again, discuss with them ideas for the public dock, for the recreation at waterfront access, and get their input and recommendations for going forward. Let's see. So it's going to be a busy next month. We're hoping to get some of them over for a personal tour. We'd really like to show them Aston in person, get around and so they get to know the island better. So been pretty busy and always looking for new members. Really, we've all been at this for a year, and I think it's time for maybe some cycling into some new committee members. We would very much welcome that. So, like I say, I'm going to put my email in the chat now, and you know how to reach me. And yes, I am LD Coury, Coury.
Great. Anything to add? Whoa.
Okay, I am going to speak. I'm sorry about the feedback, but the other thing that Public Doc would like to do is we have a meeting that we're trying to set up with the new executive director from the Parks Department and a few staff people on the island. And we would like to have, LICA do the official invitation to the Parks and Rec people. So I would like to make a motion that LICA extend an invitation to the new executive director of the Park and Rec Department and any other Park and Rec Department commissioners or staff that would like to be included so they can come to the island, to visit the island sometime this month and meet with some of the key organizations on the island that are providing park-related services. So
So to clarify, you would like LICA to send a letter to the key members of Parks and Recreation et al. And invite them over for tours on the island to be conducted and maybe a discussion group to see if we can't find mutual working ground. Is that about it?
That's about it.
that's much better than I am. And not a good
So
motion
I have a
maker.
motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Any questions out there in Zoom land? Okay,
Okay,
Motion seconded. Discussion. Are there any objections? Motion carries by acclamation. I will be glad to work on that letter with the committee to make sure that we get Parks and Rec on over here to the island anytime we can educate our government on issues regarding the island. I look forward to it. Yes, mic off. When I go to Catherine, Aviation Committee, Kathy Shornick, are you on out there?
I am. Hi. Well, the Aviation Committee has been meeting on a monthly basis. It's a small but mighty group. And we always have a lot of really interesting conversation. We're learning a lot about aviation in general, especially general aviation, which is tends to be smaller, not the large commercial planes, private planes and that. Trying different data collection for trying to understand what flight patterns are occurring. We would love to have some more voices, and I know a number of people were impacted this morning when there was some interesting flight activity over the island. Whenever the community could communicate or voice concerns as a community as opposed to individuals, I think we can get a little further. So we invite more voices, more participation on our committee. You can go to the our LummyIsland.org site and get more information about the aviation group and sign up. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 18th at 7 p.m. And we've been meeting by Zoom. So that's about all I have for tonight.
I might add that LICA did approve and acquire new software specific so that we could monitor flights here on the island a little bit more carefully, draw historical reference. This morning, for those of you who are unaware, we had a Gulfstream decide to fly over a dozen loops around the north end of the island, somewhere around by the Willows, it seems to be centered. Never did quite figure that one out, but we are going to be looking a lot more carefully at a variety of the flights and some of the patterns we're seeing, because it's a little bit low, but just noisy. That's what everybody here.
All right. This is Larry Ropeman. It's been a number of years since I was president of LICA, so I just wanted to confirm the procedure. When someone requests to form a committee, that can be done at a general LICA board meeting without the approval of the membership. Is that correct? Okay. We wonder what the purpose of this committee is as far as benefiting the island. To me, it seems that when we start making noise about complaining about things such as this, we get the attention of agencies that we may not want to be involved with. So I'm somewhat concerned about that. And if I can be somewhat of a help in addressing this, I would be happy to talk to anybody on the committee. Thank you.
That's an excellent question, Larry. We held several board meetings concerning this before adopting. There were more than 40 people who had originally had comments specific about low flights over the island. There are certain areas in particular where people, both commercial and private, seem to use almost as a channel to fly directly over the island, sometimes very low. So although you may not be directly affected, there were over 40 island residents who were concerned about low flights over their homes. Down along the base of the mountains going on in towards Scenic Estates, it's helicopters who fly around the base of that mountain coming out to Friday Harbor. So there were questions about it. The Bellingham International Airport Committee has communities from all over the area represented. When this committee, prior to it being LICA sponsored, went forward asking for community membership on that committee, they were not only denied, they were hard turned away. So I believe every community, and there is question in a lot of Bellingham and other areas, question whether or not LICA, or not LICA, but Lummi Island is in fact a community. They're saying it's more of a remote living situation. And we're saying we're a community. So if community members have the interest, we feel it in their benefit to find and investigate. So this is an investigative committee at this point. First, is there a problem? Let's identify it. Let's gather the facts. And so that's what this committee really is all about. Let's find the facts, discern them. If there's a problem, then we'll go forward. If there isn't, then we'll stake that too.
Fair enough.
Excuse
Thank
me.
you.
Can you hear me? I just want, if you can hear me, I just want you to know that anyone speaking on that microphone is not understandable.
They couldn't hear me well at all.
That's what they said.
Okay. We'll turn my mic up just a little bit. That's interesting. But can you hear me now?
Yeah, what I'm getting text here, he is echoing and not understandable. Sound is poor. That microphone is not good. It is difficult to hear. Is your computer broadcasting, Greg, as well as the mic?
Let's.
While he's
Come on.
checking on that, I'll just jump in here since I'm the chair of the aviation committee. I appreciate
I
the
have nothing.
concerns.
Our-
We're trying to be very sensitive about
Back to 6. All right.
not making any ruffles with
can you hear
groups. I don't know if
me?
you can hear me, but
No, Bill cannot hear me. Can anybody? Yes, you can. There's a thumbs up. So you can hear me, but there's no speaker here in the room. Okay. Yeah, a little bit. Is that a little bit?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, everybody, anybody, if you can hear and hear me clearly, let's get a thumbs up. Got a few of them. Okay, so you're hearing me on out there now. I just love technical fun stuff. Wouldn't it be nice if we just have potlucks and get together again? You know, we'd have food too. I kind of like that. Next on the agenda, website publication team. And that I'm going to turn the camera no, I'm not. No, don't touch the tech, Greg.
Although I'm frozen.
But he's frozen.
It's one of those nights. All right. Turning the camera. All right, that's good. Why don't you just, that's good. Okay. So we track the statistics on the website all the time. And this helps us know what to develop and what range of things for devices. So currently, over the last 90 days, so we get a rolling average, mobile devices, these are people looking at the website. Mobile devices, 60.4%. Tablets are 3.5%. So we're basically mobile-ish, 64%. Desktop, 36.2%. Now, this is the important thing. Impressions. Impressions are the number of times our content is displayed, no matter if it was clicked or not. In other words, people are looking at the website for information, reading things, that kind of thing. Our impressions over the last 90 days were 77,000. That's up 56.6%. Our total clicks, that's where they go to a page and then they go somewhere else on the website. That's 3,100. That's up 74.3%. That's going to change drastically over time based on what kind of events are going on and all sorts of things like that. Unique visitors, 3,600, which is up 59%. Top page views, the camera, 2,544. Announcements, which are posted on the homepage, 1,521. And calendar, which is 240. We're expecting that to go up a lot because now we have somebody that is assisting. Thank you, Carol, for getting stuff onto the calendar and training people on how to do it themselves in the different organizations. And that's it for me.
Well, I'm going to adjust the camera again. I guess you want to, I don't want it. Okay, there we go. So I am going to talk for a moment about the calendar. The calendar is an amazing tool. It is an up-to-date calendar and the most up-to-date you're going to find on the island currently. It is a tool for every organization. We put in extra effort and extra funding to have the software necessary to get it to where it is. So if you're planning an event or want to know what's going on the island, check out that calendar. If you're an organization and you don't have somebody already trained, and it takes just a few minutes to learn or committed to learning, contact us and we'll send Carol McKinney to your organization to get you up to speed because she's committed to doing that. We're looking to connect the island with all the information. What's going on? August was an amazing month. We were overloaded every which way. There was always something going on, but it would be nice to know when and where. We're committed to trying to find ways to get you more information as it occurs. That's really what we're all about. The next step will be so you can use it for your own planning. So enough about the calendar. Let's go on to old business. We had an interesting summer, to say the least. One of the very first things we found was we needed new promotional material. People did not know a whole lot about Leica. I started off, I gave gifts to each one of the board members, a little Leica sticker that I had a friend make for me. I paid for those. Leica did not. I even made my own shirt, a couple of them. I paid for those. Leica did not. I'm sorry. No, I haven't got it for sale. This is mine. Yet. Future. So we did come up with a variety of promotional materials. One of them that I've given out lots of, if you have not seen, our business card, which tells a whole lot about us. And you'd be amazed how many people use those. And interestingly, after we started passing those on out, there was a spike in a variety of people clicking on our pages. People didn't know so much about the website. People weren't aware of what we were all about. The promotional material was to educate the public, and what was fascinating to us, we did Saturday market. And you'd be amazed how many people came on up and said, well, who's Leica? And we'd ask, well, do you get the tome? And they say, well, yeah, I get the tome. And if you read in the top corner on up there, Lummi Island Community Association. And they did not know that. They had never connected the dots. It was amazing how many people didn't know what all of our products are. Saturday Market brought forth a lot of information. It was a cost. We needed promotional material. Alan put together the big part of it. We wound up with a booth, with a banner, with background stuff to hang pictures on and do a variety of other things. It made a huge impact on a lot of different people. We took that same information from Saturday Market to the ReefNet Festival. Again, the same thing. A large quantity of people unaware of what Leica was. Again, another spike in where people were coming to the website. 60th anniversary for the Whatcom Chief. This was a fun one. Putting that together, August was just unbelievable. We worked every day putting something together, but putting together the 60th anniversary was great. We are literally, I think, 3 or 4 posters away from getting past break even on that. For all of the events, we're about $86 down for cost. That's not bad. We recovered a great deal of that in sales of the poster, which, thank you, Bill Sager, who did that poster, and his wife. They put it together. That's been a great contribution to us, and hopefully very soon will be available for sale on the website. And you'll be able to, if you missed the availability of it during the 60th celebration, we're going to bring it back on out. We still have a few left. Hopefully, it'll generate a little bit more revenue to Leica. Hopefully. But the big thing is, this is a historical piece. This is a classic piece of art. You really should take a look at it at least. We'll have it up on the website to see. But that 60th celebration, we attracted a great number of people. We had about 250 people go through. The library where the videos were had over 100 people go through to view the videos. There was a waiting line. They lost count. They couldn't keep track of how much of it. So we had a great deal go on. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take the hit on this. I'm president of this organization. As president, anything failure happens, it's my fault. Anything successful happens, it's the groups. It's that simple. That's just the way it works. But we got ourselves so busy, so wrapped around the axle on so many different things, we didn't get the invitations on out in a timely manner to the candidates. And so tonight, for presentation where we might have had candidates forum, we do not. So I have to bite that one. We failed. I failed. We'll do better next time. Yeah. The party was worth it. On the 60th poster real quick.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that any of you that had, now I'm locked, never mind. I have no idea why that's happening. Any of you that purchased the poster as a perk also came with that poster is a history sheet about the ferry and stuff. And I wanted to say thank you. I think it was Helen and Ed Scott that noticed after 60 years that there was a mistake in the Bellingham Herald reporting of that event. And they brought it to our attention and we said, interesting. And we went looking, we found no retractions, no corrections. So we had to go backwards in history to 1954 and find the matching data to move forward. So any of you that have that information sheet, we're going to be putting out a notice on the website to replace your original, which is not correct. There's a little minor issue on it. which is actually in its own right. Yeah. So there's a version 2 of that sheet. And anybody that has the poster already, you'll get information on the website to replace it. The important thing is it's done on acid-free paper so that it lasts. So we completely reprinted that. That reprinting was another donation. And that information will be coming out pretty soon, just so you're aware of it. Okay, back to Greg.
We're going to go back to meeting minutes of June. And I know I have my meeting minutes here. You have my meeting minutes? Oh, here we go. Meeting minutes of June. We gave them back. And we're going to go on through some of the things that happened, because some of the things we have to talk about tonight is where we get to our economics. What is our basis for funding LICA? Now, we have thought it was just the tome. Well, we used to have a variety of other events, and those things brought in some money. Well, let's see, the salmon bake is now the Grange. And we had the pancake breakfast, which is now the Grange. We didn't have people to do it back then. So we look for fundraising events. We're looking for other events coming on up. But let's talk about some of those costs. That was part of our old business in June. I want to bring you on up to speed. We discovered back in June, we knew that our cost for producing the tome went from $3.80 per year per copy. So if you were a subscriber back then, it went from $3.80 to $6.10 per year. We looked at the term subscribers, and it's interesting. Suppose you subscribe to Life magazine and all your neighbors got it for free. That's kind of an interesting thing. Why subscribe? You know, the old axiom, why buy the cow when the milk is free? Well, the tome, it's a whole lot cheaper to send on out bulk mail to everybody on the island. That helps our advertisers. They got distribution to everybody on the island. On the other hand, when we look at numbers, there aren't as many subscribers as we thought. I'll talk about that further in a bit. So we came on up with a business model concept that's a little different. One, we're going to go the same basic way the board has decided. We're going to go the same basic way Heritage Trust and others on island have gone. We're going to go to donors. It just makes more sense when I say I subscribe to something, but everybody gets it. It's not really a subscription. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. But there's a difference in, are you a donor? Are you a contributor? Or is this really a subscription if it's free to everybody? Just a concept I want to put there in the back of your mind for a minute. So from the June meeting, we started working on a variety of how do we do this? How do we get from point A to point B? And what does it look like? What does it cost? Previously, if you were a tome subscriber, future donor supporter, you paid $6 a year, requested $6 a year, and of that, we're now at $6.10. Okay, we're already negative. You got a phone book on top of that for free every 2 years. You see where the costs go. I'm going to move on over into new business. President's comments. I will be more than glad to entertain questions afterwards, but there are some things that revolve around this that we need to discuss, and you need to clearly understand this isn't something that comes easy. But let's start with where this began. A lot of things happened since COVID. We learned a lot of very hard lessons. We had a variety of different things that we went to no meetings, to Zoom, to now hybrid. We went to e-tome versus any tome, no paper. The paper price is going through the roof, and they are not going down. They're continuing to rise. You may see it gas pump. You may see it in the grocery store with your groceries. Inflation is here, and it's hitting us just as much as it's hitting everyone else. Now we can look at various ways that we build things and what our costs are when we try to budget. But let's talk about some of the things tonight. Website meeting. We're on Zoom. Zoom's changed, different software. How do we do this? Are there other alternatives? Of course there are. The equipment we use is not Leica, well, except for this microphone that we have. Those are owned by Leica. All of this other equipment you see here, the television, belongs to Island Chapel. All of the other equipment belongs to Alan Crum, vice president here. Leica doesn't own it. So we haven't honed it on down and got the tech to where we want it to get those things in place. In the website itself, there have been a variety of comments, most particularly on Nextdoor recently. We held a meeting almost 3 years ago. It was in February of 2020. There were 5 of us. We sat down, we had a great conversation. We need to build a website. That was a good meeting. Seated at that meeting was myself, Lou Green, the former president, Alan Crum, before he was a board member, 2 others. Leica came away with an interesting perspective. We wanted to do this, but we haven't put a whole lot of budget on into doing it. How do we get it done? Where does the money come from? I can say that a lot of it has just been flat donated time. I know Alan has close to 3,000 hours personally invested now. You go buy a technician for 3,000 hours and figure out what that value is, let alone the fact that it is he who hosts the website through his business, not Leica yet. It is he that is the gateway to all of this. So we've got some hard decisions coming on up, some expenses, some things in there. People say, well, your discussion section isn't as fast or as good as Nextdoor. We can be. It comes with a price in thousands of dollars. That software is on out there. We can buy it. We can have it. But it takes commitment from people to actually make it happen. Not one person, not the team, because it's even bigger in some ways than just us. We can get there. That costs. That's part of our funding equation. Yes, overall, average donations are over $20. We ask for 6, but because of some who donate up to 50, some that donate over 100, it brings that average on up. We look at costs. Here are the things that we have to do. We have to get our own equipment. Leica needs to be able to do this. This is where we are until COVID and all this other stuff is gone, and we can meet once again and have potlucks and do those sorts of things. That'd be wonderful. We'd love to. In the meantime, there are costs. We need equipment for this. We need software. We need to maintain the software. We need to host our own website. And those are costs that are coming up. We went to an e-tome for some time there. It was a good cost savings. Gee, nobody wanted to get together. Nobody wanted to fold tomes. Nobody wanted to be here and handing those on out to one another. So we went to the e-tome. The problem with the e-tome was It only went to those people who were on the list. So advertisers who thought they were getting full distribution island-wide weren't. They only got to those people who were subscribers on out there. There was some savings, there was some issues. But let's talk about that. This last tome that you received, there were 728 tomes sent out, 694 on the island. 694 on the island. But there are 343 current subscribers, future donors, supporters. That's 47% of the island that's supporting it. We need to grow that. What we learned from our Saturday Market Reef Net Festival and 60th celebration is our demographics are changing rapidly. There is a newer, younger group moving onto the island. People have moved away and off island. Several have died. They're being replaced. Right now, there's 14 homes for sale on island. That's fairly significant. We have, if I remember right, currently 544, help me out here real quick as I pull that on up. We have 533 occupied residences on island currently. That's it. Occupied. That's according to citydata.com. I've looked at on several other places, comes real close. It's considered rural population with 821 that they're showing as year-round, 34 farm and 787 non-farm. Houses, there's 1,004. So although we mailed out 728 tomes and those go to post office boxes, et cetera, it doesn't go to every house. We're missing something here. I'll come back real quick to those stats that you heard on the website and the numbers you heard of the clicks and people who checked on the website. And that exceeds the tome significantly. When you start talking, let's see, total clicks, impressions, 77,000. That's 77,000 different, it could be the same 1,000 people doing it 77 times. Camera views, 2,544. 1,521, look at the announcements. We've got to look at ways to fund this, but it's growing in ways that we had unanticipated. This exceeds what we've been communicating in the past. And it's great that we've been doing this on the dime we've been doing, and we have money in the bank. We do. We didn't print the tome for over a year, and that saved a great deal. That kept a lot in the bank because those printing costs weren't spent. Needs that we have coming up. Yeah, people want us to look like next door. We can do that. Where's that money come from? We got to figure that out. We're going to have to capitalize it. If we capitalize it, it's got to come from somewhere. That's your initial cost. Your annual cost for software is a whole nother ballgame. People think, oh, you just push a few buttons and you got it. Well, let me tell you about Nextdoor real quick. Nextdoor started with a whole bunch of investors putting millions of dollars on it, and they went all over the country. The next thing Nextdoor started doing is they started collecting data on every one of us. The next thing they did is they added advertising. So not only do they know who you are, they know what ads you've seen when you were on. They know all about us in a lot of different ways. They're generating revenue. We don't collect that data, and you won't find ads on our website. This is community supported. This is for us. We think that has value. Now the hard one. Hard one everybody's had the most questions about. We all got the tome. Page 2, top of the page. The whole board, including myself, found out about Paul's decision to resign when we got the tome. The board, as of yet, has not met formally, has not discussed formally, nor has accepted formally Paul's resignation. He has sent an email. We will be having a meeting October 4th. It is a executive session of the board to discuss this. I really don't want to get into the details themselves, but what it comes down to basically is we disagree. We can either stay the course that we're at and stay at $6 and hope that as the income dries on up and inflation hits all of us, people will continue to contribute to that $20 average. Or we can simply say, here's the value. The board is a team. It can't be just one individual's opinion. We have to be a team. It is consensus, not just one. I don't dictate it. Alan doesn't. None of us do. We discuss it. And it's great to have differences of opinion. I love differences of opinion for one reason. When we have them, we get to have discussion. We get to have clarity of what's going on. Well, we disagreed. 41 years. 41 years. I know one other person who last week resigned his position as a volunteer after 44 years. Now, these two men, I don't know anybody who's stayed in a job 41 years. Not my lifetime. I sure didn't. I switched jobs quite a bit. I 20 years in the Air Force and more than enough time with the state of Alaska. I earned 2 retirements, so thank you very much. But 41 years in the same job. Paul is entitled to his opinion. Paul is entitled to his decisions. We have not recognized them yet. So as a matter of public discourse, this is still subject to debate and dialogue internally with the board. We have deep regret as a board that things went public in this way. We'll discuss that. But 41 years, my goodness. We're going to celebrate this somewhere down the road. We may disagree, but 41 years doing the tome as editor alone, let alone being on the board, the things that he's contributed, has shaped a great deal of this community. I calculated on out with an average of 10 jokes per issue, 10 issues per year, 41 years. We're looking at over 4,000 to 5,000 jokes alone. I mean, that's pretty astounding when you think about it. I don't know how many repeats are on in there. Probably not many. However, once we resolve this, the board may or may not be looking for a new editor. If that occurs, when that occurs, we will put that on the website. We will put it on out because we will then solicit for a new editor. And we will solicit and interview as a board for a new editor. This isn't a job for just anybody who's done a newsletter. This is going to be a tough job. And how do you follow an act like this? 41 years. What's the future hold? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I know this. We'd like to go to a suggested donation amount. And when we say a suggested donation amount, and that's where we were having our discussion, when we say a suggested donation amount of, I don't know, $10, $12 a year to stay within those confines, does that mean, oh, gee, I can't contribute less? Hey, if you can contribute $6 a year, congratulations, you're a donor. If you can contribute 20 or more, congratulations, thank you. If you can contribute 100 like some do or more, thank you. you're keeping Leica alive. But we are going to go forward in that direction of a suggested donor amount. And that's all it is, a suggestion. So that's one of the issues before us tonight.
I would like to be assured that there will continue to be a paper tome.
Joni brings up an excellent point. She would like to be assured there will be a paper tome. We went strictly electronic for that period. And do you know what it was that got us to stop? I happened to be in Fred Meyer's, and one of our residents who lives over on Seacrest, sells wonderful flowers down there by her place, happened to mention to me she missed the tome. She didn't have any computers. She doesn't have any smartphones. She doesn't have any other way. I said, well, how are you getting the tome? Oh, I go to the library and they print it out for me. Go to the library and they print it out for me. Yeah, I missed the written tome. Then I heard from a couple others. And I said, and I brought up at our very next board meeting and insisted we go back to a paper tome. We will always try to put something in people's hands because that written word is more than what a website will do. And I was astounded and surprised by how many people on the island are either not technologically proficient, are not website savvy, do not want to go to a website to look. I want to have a piece of paper. I want to take that calendar on off and stick it on the refrigerator. And people do. So from my standpoint, my perspective, we will always have a tome of some sort in paper in people's mailbox 10 times a year at a minimum.
I'm a technical person. I want to read the tome with my preface. So, yeah, and the website also has that on the calendar. But I'm old-fashioned.
I miss a newspaper. I miss a newspaper. Tonight, just before the meeting, a friend calls me on up and says, do you have any newspaper? Yeah, Alan was sitting right here. He said, no, I don't have any newspaper. I get everything electronically. What can I say? So we'd like to get to a point where we have suggested donation or suggested contribution support. That's really where we need to be as a body in a realistic, here's our cost and where we're going. I gotta see. Okay, great. We just had 5 more people decide to join the Zoom meeting. 4 more. 4 or 5. Great. And hopefully they're all online. $16 people on Zoom. That's outstanding. I would love to have you here. So to get to that stage, we need to get to a point of discussion. And with that, I'm going to open up the floor to that discussion. So if you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and bring it up. Give us just a second to recognize you and we'll get there.
So.
Okay, I see a hand from Leslie Dempsey. So can you go ahead and unmute, Leslie?
Okay, unmuted. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Well,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay, good. What I want to say is,
Leslie, can you turn on the TV? Because we have to listen to it through the TV in here.
okay,
Oh, Leslie, can you turn your video on?
yeah, yep. So you're not actually going to look at me. You can look at the window, the porthole window in my little teardrop trailer down here in Bothell. I don't really want to be on screen right now, although here we go.
We're
You can
good
see
then.
my beautiful little dog. How's that? Okay. What I want to say is that I am so impressed. I'm so impressed by Greg's presentation tonight.
And the dog has a question.
I was tuned in tonight because I was concerned about, the information that Paul had shared. I was, worried about the tome and, concerned about the direction of Leica. But I'm so impressed by Greg's presentation, and it was a very lovely and skillful acknowledgement of the reality of the issues facing Leica and an honoring of Paul Davis, who totally deserves to be honored for his incredible contribution to the island. And I just want to say thank you so much. I feel positive and hopeful that there's a way forward and all of these things will be resolved. I will be someone writing a donation check to support Leica. And I really, I appreciate and honor Paul Davis, and I appreciate and honor what Leica is doing. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, I know. No, our, as I refer to her, young master. She is not president. She is master of the Grange, and she's younger than I am. So I get to call her a young master.
You guys ask for anybody, is anybody else want to comment? Mhm. Are there any other people on? Are there any other people?
Are there any other people on Zoom that would like to make a comment? Please raise your hand and I will recognize you or unmute you. Or you can unmute yourself. I'm not seeing any hands out there. And Beverly, was that you raising your hand? No. Okay, I see Carrie Guard. So Carrie.
Hi, I am just going to ditto what Leslie said. And I really appreciate.
Yeah, Carrie, I need you to turn your video on as well.
Okay, good.
Unmuted.
Is that good?
Okay, she's here.
Yep.
I'll try to spotlight her.
Can you hear me? Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Trying to
No?
get you some sound.
Okay.
And then unmute the TV.
Yeah, I want to get her. Zoom is. I've got a great screen over here.
Okay, I've got her on spotlight.
All right.
Can you hear us now?
Carrie, go
Yes,
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
can you hear me? Okay, good. I just want to ditto what Leslie said. And I also want to add that we really value the physical tome, the actual hard copy, getting in the mail, having a cup of coffee, going through it. It's even though we still get it online, really appreciate getting it at our house. And like I said, morning coffee, it's a thing. And also just appreciate Paul, hoping that things can go however they need to go. And also that we typically, John pretty much just told me that we usually do more than just the $6. And I think that that's something that a lot of people will appreciate. And I just see this as being a real positive going forward. And so that's about it. Just really wanted to ditto what Leslie said. And just appreciate everything that you're all doing. So thank you.
I have to put out my 2 cents worth because I ran across John and Carrie tonight along the far end of Scenic Estates, picking up trash and trying to put Leica out of business for spring cleanup. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It was just a delight. So thank you so much for your
You're
extra
welcome.
efforts on into the community as well in your comments.
You're
Anyone
welcome.
else with any more comments?
All right, ready? Well, actually, I completely agree with your idea of a suggested donation. I think that will work. And I think you should maintain the website, but I really don't see the extravagance of doing this, because if COVID is gone and we can start meeting here again, I don't think we're going to need this.
Believe me when I say that being out of the technology end of hybrid meetings is something we very much look forward to. But beyond hybrid meetings, we need to get to that point, because there will always be those who won't drive down here. There are those who are shut in. There are those who haven't got the ability to get to the meetings. So we will look. Perhaps not. We're looking for ways, and we're looking for that kind of input. When we've got presentations, a live stream is just as easy.
The two-way communication is the real problem. It really makes it like crazy. But if you just stream what's going on so people can at least see and hear what's going on, I think that would be better. But it's a lot simpler than this silliness.
Even for people who are not technologically with it, you could allow call-ins or text questions on a live stream. It wouldn't have to be a Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and yeah, well,
We pay for this. We pay for Zoom anyway because of board meetings and stuff. Because I mean, there are people that, for health reasons, don't want to attend still.
and some right now that can't.
Right now, they can't. So we still have to pay for Zoom, but the being able to live stream it to like YouTube or something at the same time is so much simpler than trying to do this two-way stuff and switch all these cameras and everything all at once. It stresses me out. What
Any more questions?
I have a couple of comments that have come in on the chat, and from one person, it said, I no longer drive at night, so I can't do winter meetings. So I think that they are saying that they really appreciate the ability to go in on Zoom. And that was from MJ. And there's another one that said, I hope that there might be an easy way for subscribers to opt out of a physical delivery of the tome. So that's another suggestion.
Yeah, let me address that one by itself, because there is no way. We bulk mail to everyone on the island and then to subscribers that are off island. But it goes to everybody. So you can't opt out unless you opt out of mail, because it goes to everyone. It's just the same as every other piece of, I hate to say it, bulk mail. Now, I'm not going to say junk because the tome has never been junk. But unfortunately, we found out that a lot of people at our meetings that aren't talking with people, a lot of people, oh yeah, I get that, go straight on off into the can. So do you read it? No. Yeah, we're working on that. And it's educational. It's educational, especially to those newcomers that are coming to the island. That's going to continue. We've got some turnover. That's going to continue. I'm not getting any younger. And if any of you are, I want to know how. Any other questions? I can't read it.
I'm having trouble reading.
Okay, we will close on out the comment section.
Yep, no more comments that I see.
Now we'll move on to the important stuff. The next board meeting, besides the special executive session on the 4th, is Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. The next general meeting, Wednesday, October 22nd, I don't have the date, October 26th. Yeah, okay, October 26th. And until we can figure out another way to do this, that'll be that. And then that brings us to the final end of our night, trying to give some money away. Paul, are you still on out there? See if we can find Paul. Let's see. If
I'm here.
Number.
I'm here.
There he is right there.
Oh, there it is. There's Paul. Hold on a second. Backs off.
Okay, I'm drawing a chit out of the can. And I see, in just a minute, I got 463, but the maximum number I have is 438, so I'll have to draw again. Here is number 427. One of the last people to subscribe this year is Doug and Pat Coe. Did you hear me?
I got to go through this once again. It pays to attend like a meetings. Thank you so much. Unless anybody else has got anything else, we are adjourned.
Putting up with this